Yeah, absolutely. One of the most important things when you're talking about vertigo and balance is locating the cause of it, because there's a few different ways that it could happen to a person. In chiropractic, if it is a chiropractic problem, what we're looking at and what we're thinking about is the vertebra in the upper neck, specifically the atlas or the C1 vertebra. Occasionally, it can be related to your C2. There's nerves that come out of this top bone of the neck that can tie into your ears. They can tie into vertigo, balance, ear infections. They can tie into headaches, migraines, blood pressure issues, a ton of different symptoms. So locating the cause is really important. If we find that it's a chiropractic issue, we start doing adjustments to properly align the upper neck. Quick story: I have about a patient we saw earlier this year. Nasty vertigo problems. I mean, this lady couldn't turn her head left without just falling to the left over and over again all day long. Been happening for years. She tried physical therapy, which oftentimes works great for vertigo if it's coming from the inner ears, because they could do something called vestibular therapy, or they could teach you how to do something called the Epley's maneuver to realign your inner ear crystals. She tried that, didn't work. So I do a chiropractic examination. I took x-rays of her spine, and we found that she had a massive misalignment, or what we call a subluxation in the upper neck. So we started doing some adjustments. Within about 2 weeks, and in this case, I believe it was around 6 adjustments, she comes in telling me her vertigo is completely gone. It was a really big game changer for her because she'd been dealing with this for a long time. So combination of chiropractic adjustments and some muscle release is what we were doing to get her body to unwind from the misalignments, those subluxations, and to just get her body to hold. And once we did that, her body did the healing and the vertigo improved. Yeah, great question. So my story with chiropractic was back when I was in high school, I had a series of concussions and brain injuries because of sports and rough housing as a kid, to be honest. In high school football, I had a bunch of different concussions, and it was causing regular headaches for me. And these headaches were something I felt I could deal with as long as I just kept popping Advil all day long. And it got to this point where I was taking like 20 Advil or ibuprofen a day just to deal with these headaches. And what I ended up happening next was, in a lot of ways, a big blessing for me. I had another concussion, real serious one. Ended up having to miss a couple football games because of it. And not only did my headaches get worse, but I developed nerve damage in my neck that made it so I couldn't lift my arms over my head. I couldn't lift weights. I couldn't tackle people. And it really scared me. So I ended up going to my coach, and he told me to try a physical therapist. Tried that, didn't help. Ended up going to a orthopedist. They did some injections in my shoulders, didn't help. Ended up going back to my coach, telling him I thought I would have to quit because I just kept getting worse and worse. Oh, and on top of that, all the Advil abusing for years caused digestive problems, which has taken decades to heal. Told my coach I had to quit playing football. And then he said, try a chiropractor. Maybe they can keep you in the game. So I went to a chiropractor with my dad the next night. Going back to that atlas vertebra, he adjusted my atlas. My headaches were gone instantly. And then he moved a little bit lower, adjusted the middle bone of my neck, the C5 vertebra. I'm telling you, brother, I felt lightning shoot down my hands. My power was like turned back on. It was amazing. And that changed my life. So I became a chiropractor so that I could give that sort of experience to other people. Yeah, so vertigo imbalance has been a larger concern and a larger issue that people have been coming in with these last few years. I think there's a lot of things that have happened in these last few years that could have led to this high increase of things. One of them is stress. Hands down, stress. People store it in their muscles, they store it in their joints. With stress leads to unhealthy eating habits, unhealthy coping mechanisms. And it's been a really stressful last few years. Let's get serious. Another one is the posture that people are forced to be in when they're spending all day long talking on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook and all that other stuff. They're looking down at their phones, they're doom scrolling, they're looking at all the social media. So they're stressed, but they're also stressing their nervous system. And the nervous system is really what causes a lot of the problems that we're dealing with in terms of vertigo, balance, and some of the other things I mentioned earlier. So a few myths that I've heard people come in here with about vertigo and balance is they're told by a friend or family member, sometimes even by their doctor, that they have to have it forever and they're stuck with it. It's never going to get better. And that's just simply not true all the time. There's lots of things that could be done. You could be doing chiropractic care. Oftentimes that helps. You could be doing physical therapy. Sometimes there's medications that need to be done. Sometimes there's various types of foods that can trigger issues like that. So there's a lot of myths out there, and the most frustrating one to me is when people come into seeing me feeling like there's no hope, because most of the time there should be. A couple of things that a person could try from home if vertigo or balance issues is a big problem of theirs is, well, the first one is a Google search away or a YouTube search away. It's called the Epley's maneuver. It's a combination of movements and basically laying down that helps to realign your inner ear crystals. It's not going to screw you up. You can do it from home. Oftentimes, it can actually fix part of the problem. And if it doesn't, then rule that out. You don't need to go to the physical therapist or try the chiropractor. Another quick thing that you could do is if it's coming from the bones, aka the nerves in your neck, you could try taking the stress off of them. One of the simplest ways to do that is by laying on your back with a rolled up bath towel about this thick. So just fold a bath towel in half, roll it up, put that underneath the curvature of your neck. That pushes your neck curve forward, pulls your head back over the shoulders, helps out with posture, and takes some of the stress off your nervous system, your brainstem, your spinal cord. So I would try those two things at home, the Epley's and the rolled up bath towel trick. Sure thing. Well, if you're in my area, call our office, send us a text, check us out on social media, get a hold of us. Because once you come into our office, we will do a very detailed health history to figure out what your problems are and if they could be something we can help you with. We'll do a thorough orthopedic and chiropractic evaluation. We'll do a bunch of different tests. We'll feel around the problem areas, see if it's something we think we can help you with. Typically, we take digital x-rays of people when they come in. Oftentimes, we do digital motion study x-rays, which is a specialized type of x-ray that helps to show us where things are working and where they're not. We'll also do a spinal nervous system scan to measure the nerve power, nerve speed, see where the tension's at. And we'll also check out your feet too, because sometimes just standing on your feet and having a foundational problem can screw up your back during the day too. So we do all that in the first visit. We don't even do any sort of adjusting or treatment on the first visit. Have you come back later that day, sometimes the next day or two later, and we'll spend time going over all those things together. So we give you a very detailed report of findings to lay out exactly what the problems are, if we can help you, how we can treat them, and kind of go from there. So it's a 2-visit process with our office, but most people agree that it's worth it.